friends, it's Amanda here, and today I'm bringing you some eyeshadow tutorials, some more eyeshadow tutorials, I should say, using this new Tarte Maneater Nightfall palette. I did already do one eye look in my original swatch and review video of this palette. That video has a little rose and pewter eye look that I really, really loved. I actually love every eye look I've done with this palette so far. I did a really cute look using some of these shades that I almost wanted to recreate for this video, but I feel like it looked really, really similar to an eye look that I did. Remember these? The Clean Color CoverGirl palette? I did a little blue and purple eye look with two of these palettes. These are the Mellow Mauve and Midnight Sky palettes that I feel was very similar to the look that I did using these shades, so I didn't want to keep giving you the same looks over and over again. I try not to repeat my looks too much. I know that I probably don't do an awesome job at that, but we all have our looks that we like and that we go back to over and over again. So if you are interested in seeing more from this palette, let me know. Typically, once I've done more eye looks featuring something that I've swatched and reviewed, I don't necessarily specifically bring it back for more eye looks. Not that I don't enjoy using it, it's just those videos really tend to perform really poorly on my channel, which lets me know that that's not what people want to see. But I will be showing you, of course, the tutorial for the eye look that I'm wearing right now in today's video with a lot of these murky green shades. And I also have a really cool day to night transformation eye look that I was inspired to film because I actually used it that way one day. I just had a few minutes to get ready in the morning, so I just threw on a quick couple of shadows and then I ended up transforming the look to go out later that evening. I've been enjoying this palette so much. The colors, the formulas, the versatility, endless combinations. So I just wanted to give you some more inspiration. Let's check out my day to night eye look first.
For my quick daytime look, I'm just gonna really slap on a couple of shadows. I like to add a little bit of color and definition to my eye, even if I'm just doing a quick eye look, because I feel like it makes a big difference for me, and it's just where I enjoy adding a little bit of spice to my look. So I'm taking this big fluffy brush from Singe Beauty, and I mix together the shades Sly and Catnap. I'm not really being very precise. That's part of the reason why I chose this big fluffy brush, is because it's really just going to blend out and slap on the color for me without worrying about precision and technique. I'm really just trying to get a little bit of color on my eye before I have to run out of the house. So I built that up, kind of dragged it down onto the lid, and then I just dipped my finger into these two different shades, Desirable and Pamper. They mix really well together, and I wanted a super sparkly, glittery type of look on the eye. I just dabbed that over my lid space, curled my lashes. I'm not even adding mascara. That's it. Super quick, simple, easy. Adds a little bit of definition, a little bit of glitz, but it really only took me, frankly, just a few seconds. I wouldn't even say a few minutes. And I feel more pulled together. I like to be a little bit shiny. I think having a little bit of color on my eyelids just makes me feel awake, alert, alive, myself, thriving out in the world, even if I'm only faking it. Just having a couple shadows on my eyes really makes a difference for me. Then later on, I was gonna go out for dinner and kind of have not really a fancy date night, more like beers and burgers type of date night, but I like to have a little bit more going on the eye, especially if I have the time to dress up and fancy myself up. So I first added this really warm toasty brown called Ferocious onto the outer parts of my lids and blended that up into the crease. That already starts to give a lot more drama and definition to the eye. Then I just went back with that original big fluffy brush that I used to apply my crease color for my daytime look and just blended everything out to make sure the edges were nice and soft. Then I used a mixture of that Ferocious shade with a little bit lighter matte called Catnap and drag that down onto the lower lash line to give a little soft, smudgy, smoky look without going too hard, too dark. Then I used Minx and Mischief on two different fingers. I added the gold closer to the inner corner and then I blended out into that deeper brown matte shade with the more reddish metallic. It almost gives a duochrome look to the eye without actually using a duochrome. Then I used my original lid color combo and added just a little bit of that on the inner corners for a little bit more sparkle. I'm always down for some more sparkle. Added some more depth because I felt like I wanted it to be just a little tiny bit more dramatic. Not too much, but I did want to really up the ante on that deeper matte. Then lastly, I used this shade called Tease. This is the darkest matte brown in the palette on a little pencil brush and I smudged that along my lash line for a faux liner look. This is a really easy way to add some more definition to your lashes without actually having to worry about precisely applying an actual eyeliner. This will give you just a little bit of that eyeliner look, but it's so much easier and it definitely has a softness that I appreciate. Then I curled my lashes again and I added the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift Mascara, and that completes this look. You could definitely go for like a real winged liner, add some little false lashes to this if you wanted to. I personally am really in my comfort zone with this level of drama in a look. Don't get me wrong, I like to experiment. I like to add different things sometimes, but when it comes to really going out for a date night, I'm very comfortable in this type of look. I feel like myself, but I also feel fun and glamorous and toasty and cute, and that's exactly how I want to look for a beers and burgers type of date night. This palette is half warm, toasty neutrals, these orangey brown gold type of shades. So I had to show you a look with those. But I also want to show you a really cute, still very easy technically, but a little bit different look with some of these cooler tones. And I wanted to pull in some of the greens from this palette because I'm going to be doing a lot of layering and blending and building with this look. I did decide to set my primer using a mixture of the shades Sly and Pounce just to look like my regular skin tone. Then I'm using this more neutral beigey brown called Paws Off, and I'm building that up in the crease area. For this look, I am really slowly layering. You can always add more, but it's a lot harder to take away shadow. You essentially have to start over if you go too hard, too fast. So I am very gently going to layer up my colors as I build this look. I am adding Paws Off to the lower lash line as well. I'm going to focus more on the upper lids here, but I wanted just a little bit of something on that lower lash line to balance things out. Now I'm taking Captivate. This is that teal green matte shade. And again, really gently layering this up. This shadow can be very opaque, very deep, but I want it to blend upwards into that Paws Off shade. So I'm slowly layering it and I'm keeping the more dense color closer down towards the lashes and then trying to just gently taper off into the crease area. My strategy for this look is to work smarter, not harder. So I'm going to layer Captivate up on the lid. Then I'm going to go back with Paws Off and blend the edges up into the crease, going back and forth so that I get a nice soft blend there. If I take Captivate too far up or if I make it too dark too far up, then it's going to really make my transition shade too dark and it's going to look a little bit bruisey. So I want to keep a lot of that color contained to the actual lid. Ultimately, this Captivate shade really is more of a base color because I am going to take some of the shimmer shades to layer on top, but this will really dictate the direction that those metallic shades go. This 9 Live shade, for example, is a super soft, minty, sea foamy type of color, but once it's layered on top of Captivate, it takes on a whole different depth and life on the lid. So I'm taking that from the inner corner and I'm sweeping it onto the lid about halfway over. So it goes from that blank space in my inner corner all the way across to where Captivate is really darkened and built up. Then I'm going to go in with Nightfall, which is this really interesting blackened teal shimmery shade. And using a super stiff flat brush, I'm packing that over top of Captivate on the outer part of my lid, but I'm really sticking closer to the lash line with this one. It just adds a little bit more depth and a flash of sparkle as the eye moves. This adds a little bit of spooky glam to the look without being overwhelmingly dark. I don't want to overwhelm this look. I don't want it to feel very dark and heavy and weighed down, but I like the idea of balancing these different depths, these different finishes all together. I love looks that come together with a mixture of colors and neutrals in ways that feel interesting and surprising, but not overly complicated, not something that is so technique driven and includes so many products that it feels unattainable for most of us. As usual, I'm sure that this is too much for some people and not nearly enough for others, but that's really sort of where I tend to sit style wise. I like things that are in that midpoint, and I really love the way this turned out. It wore well throughout the day, and I think it's cute and colorful while still giving me that sort of easy feeling, and I feel like myself when I wear it. That's always what I'm going for with my makeup.
One more tip for you before this video ends. If you have this palette and you're struggling with creating color combinations, if you're somebody who feels overwhelmed by a larger palette like this, which is really common to feel overwhelmed by so many shadows, look at each one as a row and just grab all from the same row. And that will help you sort of narrow it down if you're feeling overwhelmed by all of these shades. If you're feeling really sassy, you can use the colors from a column instead. This also works really well. I know at first glance it may not seem like it, especially this one maybe is a little bit too dark to do that, but who knows? Maybe that's what you're going for. You can have a really deep, dark, smoky look, a really bright, colorful look, a mauve look. These are more of your lighter looks. Just if you need a little help narrowing down which colors to choose, that's always a really good way to do it too. Now's the time when I want to hear what you think about these colors. Which eye look was your favorite? Which colors do you think I should use in my next look? I always love to hear what you think about things too, so make sure you leave all your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! What was I gonna say? Literally anything? Okay. Do I know my own intro? You know, it might be time for a break. Losing it. Just flip that around. I'm wearing all my fall and Halloween and spooky spoopy earrings now, and it brings me joy. Got my little teal green eyeshadow, little teal star, got my little green shirt. Feels so cute. Ooh, and I have green nail polish. I'm a matchy girl. All right. One more video to film today and then editing time. For me, it's a lot more fun to film than to edit. If it was worth my while, I would happily hire an editor, but it's expensive. So I would say maybe someday, but probably not. All right, gotta go. Thanks for hanging out. You're cool, cute, awesome, special. Don't forget to wear your sunscreen, even when it starts to get cold. If there's enough sunlight for you to see, then you should be wearing sunscreen. Even if you're inside, even if you're in the car. You want to know why? Because your health matters. Okay, love your face. Bye.